Level 1. The Candidate. You arrive at Scout Sniper School carrying 27 kilograms of gear on your back through the humidity of the Carolinas. The instructors are already watching you, evaluating, sorting recruits into categories you cannot see. Nobody tells you anything except where to stand and when to move. The dropout rate is 70%. They mention it on the very first morning. Your first week is dedicated to camouflage and infiltration, moving across terrain without being seen. You crawl slowly through fields while instructors with binoculars search for the slightest movement. If they spot you, you start over from the beginning. You build ghillie suits out of burlap and local vegetation. It transforms you into something that blends into the dirt, the grass, and the shadows between the trees. You learn to move only a few inches per hour when necessary. The greatest skill of a sniper is not shooting, but becoming invisible. Some quit quickly. One gives up after a night exercise that leaves him hypothermic. 2 are eliminated for safety violations on the firing range. Another simply does not show up for formation one morning. His bed is empty. You stay. Not the mud soaking through your clothes, not the insects crawling across your motionless face, not the failures that send you back to the starting line can reach your determination. The shooting comes later, and it is harder than you ever imagined, even if you already know rifles. You grew up hunting, hitting targets at distances that impress civilian shooting ranges. But precision shooting beyond 1 kilometer is an entirely different discipline. The wind does not simply push the bullet. It bends it along trajectories that change every second. Gravity pulls the bullet downward through parabolic arcs that require calculations, not guesses. The final exercise breaks candidates who survived everything else while surviving on minutes of sleep. 4 days in the field with minimal supplies, infiltration exercises, and graded shots under pressure. The instructors watch mental collapse as closely as physical collapse. Some candidates perform perfectly until accumulated stress finally breaks them. They are eliminated immediately. Not punished, simply recognized as unfit. You survive because your mind becomes calmer under pressure instead of panicking. The harder the situation becomes, the clearer you think. You finish in the bottom third of your class. Nothing exceptional, nothing shameful, simply competent. Level 2, the Spotter. Your team leader is a gunnery sergeant named Jackson with 4 deployments behind him. You are the youngest member of the team, which means you are the spotter. Range estimation, wind reading, target identification, documentation. You are the shooter's external brain, so he can focus entirely on trigger control. Your first deployment takes place in a country you are not supposed to name or officially be in. The enemy does not wear uniforms and looks like everyone else until suddenly they do not. Your first kill as a spotter is a man carrying an RPG. Jackson fires from 800 meters while you call the wind, confirm the target, and watch through your scope as the bullet arrives before the sound does. You thought you would feel something stronger. Pride or horror, maybe. In reality, you feel professional satisfaction, the same feeling as any well-executed job. Over the months, you learn things like improvising positions when the perfect hide does not exist. You learn the intensity of operations, followed by the strange emptiness of waiting periods inside secure zones. Level 3. The Shooter. Jackson goes home after his 5th deployment. You are now the primary shooter. Your first shot is almost routine with a confirmed target at 600 meters. Stable wind, perfect conditions. Breathing, pressure on the trigger, confirmation of the result, relocation. Just like training, but it is the difficult shots that teach you what you have become. There is a compound in a valley where hostages are being held. The intelligence is reliable and confirmed. 3 Americans, humanitarian workers held by a cell that already released an execution video. You set up at 1,400 meters, farther than any shot you have ever taken in real combat. The wind is unstable. shifting direction every few minutes because of thermal currents in the valley. Your new spotter keeps calling out numbers that constantly change. The guards follow rotations that you memorize. The hostages appear briefly at a window. The shot comes at sunset when the target stops in a predictable position just long enough. The trigger breaks cleanly. The bullet flies true. The guard collapses, and the assault begins. 20 minutes later, the hostages are inside helicopters while you dismantle your position. 3 confirmed lives saved. 3 people who will live because of the shot you took. Level 4. The Team Leader. The unit has changed now. They call you the Old Man, which you are not yet, but feel more and more every year. Your knees and back remember every hour spent in uncomfortable positions. But you lead because experience accumulates. You have seen what works and what fails. Your team is deployed into a conflict that technically is not a war. You make a 1,700-meter shot that builds your reputation. Difficult angle, unstable wind. The target moved between several vehicles in a pattern that created only a few seconds of opportunity. You took the shot because the alternative was losing the target, and that was unacceptable. The team still talks about that shot afterward. It becomes a legend, slightly exaggerated every time it is retold. But the shot that truly matters is the one nobody talks about. A mistake. A target identified and engaged that turned out to be the wrong person. The intelligence was wrong. Your shot was perfect, but the result was a civilian dead in a place he should never have been. Collateral damage, in the sterile language of reports. Murder, in the language of honesty. The investigation cleared you, but that face keeps coming back again and again. You learn to carry that weight. At least the pain proves your conscience is still intact. Level 5. The Master. You survived long enough to become rare. A shooter who neither broke nor burned out. The title is informal, and younger soldiers come to ask you questions they would never ask anyone else. You alternate between deployments and developing new rifle systems. Optics that automatically calculate ballistics. Rifles that adjust themselves to environmental conditions. This is your final deployment, and you watch your team with the awareness of the end. The final shot is routine. A confirmed hostile target at medium distance, standard conditions, professional execution. You do not know it is your final shot before sitting inside the transport home. 22 years, hundreds of operations. Kills you stopped counting because counting started to feel unhealthy. You trained a generation of shooters who now train the next one. The techniques you developed are taught to soldiers who do not even know your name. You return home carrying the faces, the sounds, the smell of gunpowder that triggers memories without warning, the hypervigilance that kept you alive in combat, but makes no sense inside a suburban grocery store. Relationships sacrificed because of deployments, connections that did not survive the person you became. But also this, the people still alive because you were good at something terrible. The fact that you saved dozens, hundreds of lives, maybe more. You did what your country asked of you, and you did it better than most.